And we are back with another episode of the Wrasslin Roundtable podcast. We're talking about all things wrestling. I'm Ryan Hall, Dominique LaRue joining us as always, and my guy. Um, I think we both got a pretty big statement to make here. Is that Crown Jewel was actually a pretty good show.
Yeah, way better than the what was it, C minus that they got for
Uh,
WrestlePalooza.
Russell Palooza, yeah,
Yep. I called it
yeah.
Russell Poo Poo.
Wrestle poo poo, yeah. That works too. That works too. But I was really surprised. Like honestly, I didn't have. I mean, honestly, it started 8 o'clock in the morning my time, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and I had to watch in pieces because work and. But the show was really good. I mean, was it WrestleMania 17 good? Absolutely not. But it was a show that, for the most part, made sense. Now, it was, it was other than John Cena and AJ Styles, what you're definitely going to talk about. What would you say was your favorite match? I've got mine, but what would you say is your favorite match?
Mm. Definitely a Tiffany, only because they did exactly what I wanted them to do. They obviously gave the right person the win because Stephanie is on that pedestal as the next great hot like women's women superstar. Like she is
Mm-hmm.
by far uh far beyond superior than Tiffany. Like her whole character, her whole like everything about her is superstar status. No disrespect to Tiffany. Like I know we criticize her a lot, not the person, but like this character they're painting out her to be, they did her wrong. Just the way like they did Charlotte coming back from her injury. They didn't put them to in a perfect situation. Tiffany won that belt solely off of Money in the Bank, which with Money in the Bank, any person that cashes in, it normally gravitates that person to a new aspect, right? Like a new level.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It didn't do nothing for Tiffany. I don't know if it was just the fact that we had some injuries to women at the wrong spot at the wrong time, and um they had to just use what they had, or they just don't care. But I've been preaching it on the show. It's time for her. It just as well as we said about Cody. Her character has became stale. So it's like you need to take that belt off of her. So thank God they have broke the streak that they want to mention every single time she wins against the same opponent. And not only did you break her streak and then put the Crown Jewel Championship, which is the most irrelevant championship of all, on someone to, you know, say she's the best, which she is currently right now. Um, Now what do you do with the women's world title? Oh, excuse me, women's what's it, undisputed title, right?
Uh, the SmackDown title, let's
Yeah,
call it,
SmackDown
because
title
I
at the
can't
end of the day. I
remember
mean, at this point,
which
at this
one
point, it's really the secondary title compared to what they got going on in Raw. But yeah,
exactly.
what do you do with that title, and who do you put it on?
Honestly, I feel like they're just biding their time before Bianca can come back.
And I hope. By the way, I meant to mention this to you. Apparently, from some sources I've read, Bianca is close to being back. But not only is she close to being back, when she comes back, she's coming back as a heel. And as a heel, her and her husband. So we might get Montez Ford going as a singles competitor as well. So
Ooh, Bianca as a heel, that's something that's intriguing. That's
It's crazy because
intriguing.
she was somewhat of a heel in NXT, but it wasn't
Yeah,
like an overall heel. It was more of like I'm the best, like that cocky, like
right.
nobody in the roster is on my level. This, that, and third. So
Kind of that same way that they painted Jade Cargill in AEW, kind of like you know, I am her, you know?
hmm hmm
Kind of keep
and
this
who
language,
better?
kind of keep this language PG, but I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
you
yeah.
get what I'm saying. Yeah.
I am that. Hey, hey, but
Right.
but that makes the absolute most sense if you bring Bianca back as a heel. You keep Jade wherever she is, like you know, babyface, whatever you want to call, and
Right.
then they face off.
Yeah, yeah, because obviously eventually Naomi is going to be back, but she's a little bit preoccupied right now, and
Yeah, she's
obviously she
preoccupied.
can't.
We probably won't get
Yeah, I
her back
mean,
till like what Backlash, if that.
after WrestleMania, easy. Yeah,
Yeah. So
after WrestleMania, maybe even SummerSlam at this point.
yeah,
Yeah,
and take all the time you need, Naomi.
absolutely.
Congratulations to you
Yeah,
and your family, and
absolutely,
we can't wait for you to come back. But
absolutely.
yeah, Stephanie and Tiffany was my second. I would have said Roman and Bronson, but is like in the ranking is John and AJ, Steph and Tiff, uh, Roman and Bronson. Um, I can't go against my girl, Rhea and Io. Uh, I got two more, don't I? Or one more. It's like I'm trying to put Cody and Seth is the furthest down because it just I mean, obviously it was paint on the wall. You're not gonna break up division. You're not gonna kick
Right,
Seth out of division. Uh, everything about Cody is just like it's not it's not clicking for me. I mean, he didn't even show like an ounce of like desperation or like he's going to cheat to win like Seth did. It was basically you knew Seth was going to cheat to win because I mean, like if you don't win, you get kicked out of division. So
they need to do something with Cody. They need to
and
do
then
something with Cody because his character is just so paint by numbers right now. It's like it it's like we're text back and forth. Oh, Cody's wearing a suit right now. He's just going to cut a promo. Oh, he's got the cutoff hoodie on. He's about to fight somebody. I mean, it's like obvious. It could be obvious to Ray Charles, and Ray Charles has been dead for 20 years.
yeah, or like he in the suit. He do fight to set up a main event or whatever. But it's just, I mean, come on, my guy. Like, I just need, I need something. I need you to give me that. Like, you're a babyface, but you got some heel tendencies, like a Homelander. Like,
Yeah,
you really believe the smoke that you're blowing.
absolutely.
Like, you're the quarterback number one, this, that, and third. Sure, we hear you, but like, are you really the quarterback number one? I mean, to be honest, you know, like outside of what's WWE got going on, realistically, the viewership is way down compared to what it was when Roman was champion.
Exactly. Exactly. And
The
just judging by
storylines
them.
are the storylines are way like terrible than it was when the bloodline storyline was going on. Like we you only defended the belt once. Now granted, we are human beings. We know what's going on outside of WWE sometimes. Obviously you
Right.
had a child. Obviously you had a movie going on. So
Hmm.
but even before then, when you won the belt again, wait, no, was it again? No, yeah. So when you won the belt, obviously you had a storyline with Kevin Owens. That was okay. You finish with Kevin Owens, then we move on to Drew, or was it John? think it was John.
Yeah. It was John back at SummerSlam.
Yeah. So it was John. John turns heel. He takes the belt from you for WrestleMania. Y'all have y'all little thing. Obviously, John goes on his retirement tour, wins a couple matches against some old, flings. Then we get back to you being, in the mix, and then you win the belt at SummerSlam. We get the belt back. Now it's still stale. You have a feud with Drew. Drew should have won the belt. It's like they it's like they're too hesitant to pull the trigger because they want this, I guess. Obviously Cody is the right fit as far as like doing the interviews and going on these appearances. He's
Right.
wearing the suit and this and that and the third. You're not gonna get any crowd. You're not gonna get any attention from like these talk shows and stuff by having like Irishman talking to you, or Randy Orton carrying the belt because he got tattoos all over his arms, neck, and stuff like. But
Right.
my thing is like, bro, we are not. WWE is not the NFL. WWE is not the NBA. WWE is not MLB. WWE is what it is, for what it's worth. I mean, like when the old man was involved, obviously, he had his certain picks of who should be champion, but you're one of your biggest stars, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the most redneck guy you could ever imagine, is doing interviews, talking to people, wearing a, you know, Austin 316 shirt. So,
Hmm.
like, not to say Cody's not one of the biggest baby faces of the company, but at some point, if you want your viewership to go up, that belt has to be passed on. Like, I mean, as ridiculous as it was back in the day when the belt was like going to everybody and their mama, it made the product better because it was unexpected. Like one time it was Mankind, next time it's Kurt Angle, next time it's Triple H, next time it's Stone Cold. Go back to Triple H. The Rock got it. Shawn Michaels got it. It was better that way.
I think there can be a happy medium between the two because the latter with it being passed around like a hot potato never really worked for me
Right.
because it's like we say many times, the belt does not make the superstar. The superstar is who makes the title.
Absolutely.
And you can't build somebody to the level of a prime John Cena or even to the level of a prime Stone Cold or The Rock or even before that, Hulk Hogan, Bruno. You can't build somebody to that level without it staying on him for a little bit.
Yeah, but Ryan, look at SmackDown and Raw, right?
Yeah.
Look at how when Roman left SmackDown to go to Raw, the energy shift, and like we have better storylines around the world title than we do the undisputed title, and that's ridiculous. Like the undisputed title is the crown champion, like it's the quarterback number one title. But yet, why does it feel like the world title, the secondary title, is more important in the aspect of like storyline wise?
You're not wrong. You are absolutely not wrong. And it doesn't make a lick of sense to me because, it's like you said, that undisputed title is the same one with the same lineage as Hulk, as The Rock, as HBK, as Brett, as, going all the way back to Bruno and Gorgeous George. But
Or even recently with Roman.
exactly, exactly. But it wasn't, but when Roman had the title for all those thousands of days, it was because when you turned on the TV and when you saw him in the ring or when you saw him cutting a promo, you watched. He was that compelling.
It was like a
It,
mountain that nobody could touch. It was the that
exactly.
that that air he kept talking about. Like this air is is dense, and nobody could stand on this mountain and breathe the same air as me. But now with Cody got the belt, it's like, yeah, you got the belt, but I mean anybody can get it.
It's like a prop around his shoulder.
Yeah, you already got the suit. The suit looks better than the belt.
Facts. No, totally, totally. Like the belt just the belt does not feel the same. It does not feel as important
Mm-mm.
around his shoulder, like on his shoulder, like for Roman Reigns. Because, but let's also not get this twisted now. Roman Reigns has been in this game for a long time. He's on the backside of his career. Cody's still, Cody is still a hell of a worker. He's still in relatively good health, but he just
Yeah,
turned 40. He's
and he
probably
got a
on the
lot of
back end of his
miles.
career, and he's
Got
got
a
a
lot of
lot of
miles on his
miles on
body.
that body.
Yeah, and
Who we
like you said,
who
for the belt is it's just like we said before. The belt don't make the man makes the belt. And obviously Cody is by far the best suited person for the belt because, he fits that mold of a champion. But
the
you
best suited,
you
he says.
yeah, yeah. But um when you're sitting here and you're fighting, no disrespect to Drew, you're fighting Drew McIntyre, you're fighting the Kevin Owens, you're fighting John, like my thing is, you beat John and you got the belt. Why does the belt does not feel more important after beating John Cena, the last real champion? Like, why doesn't it fit that mode of like I beat the goat? Like him beating Roman was far more superior than him beating John Cena,
That's because John Cena's last reign felt so insignificant to me,
and they did his
which
his
which
his
is
heel
a
run so terrible.
crying shame
It is.
because because I'm not going to say they fumbled his heel run, but they fumbled his heel run.
Oh, they poo pooed all over it.
Yeah,
I mean, if anybody has listened to our last couple episodes further back, like the the way he went heel could have been so like perfect if they would have just in a way kind of used. You could even not even use like Wyatt six, but like in a in a in a in a loving way. Like if you want to pay homage to a beloved superstar as one Bray Wyatt, if they would have just used like John when he disappeared in the Firefly Funhouse. In those months, he was gone, and then he so happened just popped back up. And yeah, he's the same John, but like you start seeing like cracks in his armor, you know, and like why is John like not acting the same way? And then the stare off that he did during that heel run, they could have played on that, like what's going on. Like every time he acts like his self, he stares off, and then he does heel stuff. So that could have been like the fun house still in his mind, controlling his mind or something.
yeah, because Bray Wyatt's character was just such a mind f that you did like when he did that like that 1,000 yard stare that you're talking about. That could have almost been like I don't want to compare it to what they're doing with Bailey right now with this kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of thing.
Like skits,
But kind of,
schizo.
but kind of a similar kind of a similar concept, right? I mean, he can come out, he can, he can talk to Stu with on the stage. He can still wear the bright colored, whatever. But then there's like a moment when he like catches the eye of somebody when he just goes dark. That could have been perfect.
And
Instead of this
and
whole,
the production they got, like obviously us as TV fans, we can only watch it on TV. So basically, you could do something with TV, like flicker the light to make it like go black or whatever, and then like his
yeah,
1,000 yard stare comes on, and it's like, oh, like because remember with the Fiend, right? You start hearing this eerie sound, and then the lights go out, and then he shows up in this
yeah.
light flickering, and you see the Fiend standing literally behind the person, like before you put them in the mandible claw, but like
Hmm.
they did they. It's like they just didn't think about that, or they didn't want to touch on that because obviously, you know, Bray sadly passed away, so they kind of just wanted to move on from that or whatever. But like, it's so much you could have done with John's heel turn to where it works and he could be a heel, and then he fights his way back to being John, like they did at SummerSlam, and then we get John back, finna go on his last little few appearances and ride off in the sunset. But you poo pooed all over it. And then the fact that, like, and then another thing, obviously, The Rock has showed you numerous times when he gets involved with anything outside of the whole aspect of, WrestleMania, where Roman lost the belt. You know, this man's schedule is crazy. So you really can't build a storyline around Rock being involved because you never know if he's going to be available. So why not do it the way we was talking about, where you know the Rock is somewhat evolved, but he's not evolved with John. John is fighting the Fiend, quote unquote, while Cody is kind of fighting the temptation of the Rock. So now you got two, of your biggest baby faces kind of fighting the dark side. And now the Rock don't have to literally be there because now, I mean, like, obviously you dropped the whole Easter egg of like, oh, that proposition is still in my mind, but you don't play on it at all. He still comes out
It
in the
just
same suits. He still come out with the same stick. He still comes out and you know talks about being quarterback one and this and that and blah blah blah. But like at the end of the day, the final boss makes the decision. So like, are you the quarterback one? Or are you just filling in for the person that like not necessarily writes your checks, but
is he the
has a
QB
say?
one? Is he the QB1 or is he the puppet one?
Ooh, exactly. Is he the QB one or is he Pinocchio?
Yeah, yeah. Because I've said it many, many times. I feel like they could have played The Rock this whole final boss kind of angle. They could have played him almost like almost like Emperor Palpatine, kind of like that final, like ultimate final boss, even above Darth Vader, like the puppet master of Darth Vader. They could have played him that evil, but you can't really tell anything because his schedule is so ridiculous.
And then like just think about it, Ryan. The final boss. He's basically a more athletic old man. Like how Vince McMahon was like, he's the boss. I mean, obviously he looked
Hmm.
like the boss, he act like the boss, but he's not a physical. He's not one of the guys. He's not one of the talents. But like now you flip the script, and one of your talents becomes Vince McMahon. That's a dangerous combination because I could
Yep.
literally whoop your butt and fire you if I wanted to. And just imagine the power struggle within the company of Triple H and The Rock going back and forth. That would be crazy.
Oof. Obviously, Triple H can't get physical, but
Yeah,
he can
but
still
they can play with
go
the
out and cut a
mind.
promo. Yeah. Oh,
Like this is the cerebral assassin. Like he don't even have to be physical
yeah.
with you to really just screw your day up.
Absolutely.
He literally
Absolutely.
did it with the authority.
Damn right he did.
Oh my God, the torment he would do with Daniel Bryan was crazy.
Uh, yep.
But not to overshine, the rest of the PLE with our talks of Cody. Um, what did you think? What did you think about that Bronson Reed and Roman match?
The word that comes to mind is just disappointing because that match could have been an absolute war. That match could have been an absolute war. I feel like Bronson going over was the right move,
Absolutely.
but that match just I mean it's just disappointing.
Uh,
You know,
You know,
I'm not looking for blood and guts and stupid spots like dropping, doing a tsunami through a, plate glass window or something. I'm not looking for that, but I'm looking for more. I'm looking for, I mean, that match was just tame. You know what I mean?
they didn't play it right. Absolutely not.
And they
Um,
really didn't. Yeah.
another word play I would say is disappointing because
Very good.
the
Yeah.
entire time Roman came back, which was probably 2 weeks, but you play this scenario of us seeing the implosion of the bloodline, right? This whole conflict of Jimmy, what side you're on. Um, you know, you never had a title. How would you know how to proceed? Like Roman is telling us we need to act this certain way because he's obviously been in those shoes. And like I've been in his shoes. Like I know what he's talking about now because I've been world champion. So I know what he's talking about. And then you go and have Jay spear Roman through a table. And then like I told you guys don't come interfere in my match. Like now the world thinks I can get it on my own. Like when have we said that? We've not discussed that at all about you winning the match on your own. Like literally, it makes all the sense in the world if you're getting your tail kicked by two dudes that your cousin come out and help you. Like that don't make any sense that your family don't come out and help you. That is crazy. But then you have us in this bickering competition between Jay and Jimmy, and you don't play on it at all. Like if Jimmy would have got in there and super kicked Roman on accident, and Jay just snaps, right, and spears Jimmy, you could have went that way. But you went the way of Roman, like I can't win it on my own. I don't want to see y'all till Christmas. Then Jay's like, oh, he's always being himself. Like there you go, being the same old Roman. And I'm like, bro, you were just on his side, like literally seeing what he was talking about being champion and like being in those footsteps, and now you're like there you go again being this like bro, you was literally acting like Roman. Why? What did you talk about?
Just a minute and a half ago, Jimmy was, quacking him about you're sounding like Roman right now. You're sounding like, I mean, make it make sense.
Make it make
That's
sense.
all
It's
I
like a big
ask.
tornado of crap just flying around, and it's like, okay, this makes sense. Okay, we're gonna throw this out. Okay, hold on, wait, that don't make any sense. Why were you putting that in that storyline where we like you got the Godfather, Casino, and all these other movies mixed into one. Like we need to have one set storyline, like one vision, quote unquote. But like one like, what are we doing? Are we gonna have the Usos turn on each other, or are we gonna have the Usos like? Are we gonna have Jay turn heel, or what? Like it don't make any sense.
Yeah, that really didn't make a bit of sense to me. And it's obviously they're going for, setting up Jay and Jimmy round two. WrestleMania, you know, Royal Rumble, who knows? But it's kind of obvious that's what they're going for.
Now you know what? I'm glad you said Royal Rumble because now an idea has popped in my head. Right, Jay has won the Royal Rumble. Right,
Hmm.
he's been on the top. He won the world title. Could that? poison corrupt his mind to the point where he throws his own brother out the ring at Royal Rumble, and that's what starts it all. Like he literally stabs his brother in the back. They kick, they're super kicking everybody. They working together. Oh, the Usos, they looking out for each other. And then next thing you know, this is what turns Jay into a heel. He throws his brother right up above the ring, and then not only throws him out of the ring, he looks him. They looking dead in each other's eyes, and he
Right.
does the yeet right in front of his face.
Like just like a death stare, like if you I did it and I'll do it again. Yeet.
Yeah, that's like in our terms, fu respectfully.
Yeah.
Like I've been champion. I want to be champion again. I would do anything. I would throw our own mother out the ring for that title back. So
Exactly. Exactly. I think that's a great idea. I think before we get too deep into the rabbit hole of
yep.
fantasy booking, something that's not going to happen for a few months, I want to talk about that match between John Cena and AJ Styles. Now,
Love note.
yes. um, I texted you after I had to go back and watch it because
Mm-hmm.
because work
Mm-hmm.
and also the little matter of my Crimson Tide against Missouri yesterday. But
The barn burn of a game.
well, I wish I wasn't at work when I was watching it because it was too tense. Um, however, when I went back and watched it, I remember texting you. It's not something that I say often about professional wrestling because professional wrestling simulated, yes, but it can be violent, it can be nasty, it can be ugly. But that match was beautiful. It's not a word that I use often about professional wrestling, but that match was beautiful. Those were just two guys who have a lot of love, a lot of respect for each other, no storylines around it, giving each other flowers, tons of fan service, um, emotion. Yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit I teared up a couple of times during that match, during one particular spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, it kind of did the women's tag team match a disservice because the crowd was just shot after that.
Yeah.
And that was a solid match, don't get me wrong, but the crowd was just shot.
Quite frankly, it should have been the main event, to be honest.
Yeah, it should have closed the show.
It should
It,
have
it
closed the
should
show.
it should have closed the show, especially considering the kind of the predictability that happened between Seth Rollins and our guy Cody. But to me, that match, like I heard it described as the greatest love letter to professional wrestling that he's ever seen because it did fan service to guys our age in our 30s and 40s who've been watching wrestling for the past 20-25 years, but it was also doing fan service to younger fans as well, fans who could see, oh, these two guys could really absolutely kick ass once upon a time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that match was that was for a match that didn't have any storyline, didn't have any title around it. That was one of the best matches I've seen in a long, long time.
But I mean, it didn't. It wasn't a typical match of like couple this. It wasn't a lot of stuff to set up to a certain move or like you said, it wasn't any story behind it because of like it wasn't like a Bronson Reed and Roman. It wasn't like a Cody and Seth. Like we're fighting for I want to be quarterback one. I'm the face of the company. This and the third. It was two. of the absolute best in their respective eras. One who's been a WWE guy throughout his whole career, and another who had to get it out the mud, who literally made himself an icon in the Indies and TNA, and then come into WWE and not only come in with fanfare from Indies, but then have WWE fans gravitate to him and make himself an icon too within the realm of WWE, and literally made himself the face that run the place. Like he literally was SmackDown Live for years. And like you said, like they didn't need no promos. They didn't need to go back and forth week in and week out to say this, that, and the third. It was literally two of the goats going in the ring and putting on the show for us wrestling fans. And it was the perfect love letter to not only WWE fans, but wrestling fans of the world. Because like obviously, they had to do their greatest hits, but also they threw in things that, wrestling finishers that, us wrestling fans we know because of the opponents they fought throughout their careers. And then the most ultimate spots of paying tribute to one of the goats of his generation and the most beloved wrestler in recent history, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the spot that took me up because the
That
way
and
that
it was so unexpected too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they didn't have to do it, but it was a very big spot. He was going in for his phenomenal forearm just to get reversed into Sister Abigail. And the way John did it, John took his time. Obviously, this is choreographed, but he took his time. He kissed AJ just like Bray would do anybody. Did the move and then sat back, like sat himself up. Excuse me, that's from the mic, but sat himself up and just looked at the crowd and soaked it in. And like, like it was watching Derek Jeter retire all over again. And you remember that little kid in the stands, and he kind of like
hmm
tipped his hat to him. It
yeah,
was
yeah,
like John did the move to Bray, and Bray was up in heaven, just looking down, like, I see what you did there. And then the crowd with the fireflies just waving their phone. And it was just like, wow, man, that was crazy.
yeah, yeah. No, the one I think the my favorite moment out of that sequence was just the presence of mind of the production truck to have a tight shot on John Cena's face as he glanced to the heavens. It was brief, but that shot, I think, is what kind of caught up with me a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little choked up just talking about it because like, it was that powerful. And, pro wrestling, yes, you know, fans like us, fans who actually understand what pro wrestling is all about, we see the human side of it. We see the love and the camaraderie around it.
Mhm.
A lot of times, people who make fun of wrestling, oh, these are just two oiled up muscle heads in tights hitting each other with chairs. That's not it at all.
Not at all. These are people putting
That
their lives on the line for our entertainment and like have trust within each other to perform these moves. And not only the trust, but the respect of one another to, you know, let you do a very dangerous move that could potentially injure me. But not only do it, but to perfect it in a way where I'm okay after the move and it looks painful. And like you said, the camaraderie of these performers, like you could feel the love they had for Bray. And like you can Google and find interviews of different superstars like talking about the impact this man left amongst people. And I mean his impact is so strong, it's still with Alexa Bliss to this day. Like she don't change
And
anything about herself, uh, and like the whole her interest and everything is basically that character that she was doing with Bray. It's just she's acting like herself now. She's not acting like demonic or whatever the case may be. But
and in a very short amount of time too. I mean, let's not forget he had been in the game for a while, but he passed away. He was only 36.
only like he was not even near the level of stardom that he was on his way to be. Like he was already a huge star, but like
Yeah,
he was on his way to being like on the same level as the John Cena and Roman. So
Undertaker,
Undertaker, yeah, like he was in that same air as the Undertaker. Yes,
completely,
and
completely.
I'm glad you set that up because how about that tombstone into AA?
Oh, that
That
God,
was crazy.
that was insane. That yeah, that was absolutely insane. The way that that was just chef's kiss. I mean, even in a match that had no storyline implications, that match still told a beautiful story with incredible psychology.
I love a match that tells a story without you know actually being told from like a Michael Cole or anybody. You just can watch it and feel the story behind it.
Absolutely. And I really hope that those two guys, after that match, had a bottle of something nice waiting on them and a couple of shot glasses and just went to town because they both
Absolutely.
deserve that.
Yeah. And for what they did, it just makes John's last four appearances that much more important. It makes AJ's year next year that much more important because these two guys literally define like our not necessarily childhood. I mean, you could basically say somewhat
Right.
childhood, but like our adolescence. I mean, like it defined our
Yeah.
our wrestling passion. Like they was in the midst of that. I mean, like them two literally defined a wrestling era. Like AJ made a name for himself in New Japan and TNA and all this other stuff, and like
Right.
he is the guy. Like this is another. When I text you, remember, I want my triple threat match. I don't care how many times I have to say it on the show. I will post it on Twitter. I will post it on any social media thing for Triple H to see this. But I need a triple threat match between him, Cody, and Finn to define who was the undisputed leader of the Bullet Club.
Abso effing lutely. That
Finn
match will,
started it.
yes.
AJ perfected, and Cody, Cody was Cody. But but it like the Bullet Club helped Cody though. That's the thing too. Like
It did.
AJ. I mean Finn. Okay, wait. Cody was after. Was Cody after Finn?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I take that back. Finn started it. Cody perfected it. AJ led it. I need that triple threat match. I need that. It don't need no belt
Yeah.
involved in it. It just need that storyline.
And it don't need to be on a Saturday night's main event either. It needs to be in a stadium. It needs to be, give them 30 minutes and just let them go.
Let them go. And like, and you can have like a miniature Bullet Club, like not even like have a Bullet Club within WWE, but just like okay, AJ has his Goonies, Cody has Rick, uh, Saint, whatever, and then Finn has JD. Like you have that, and like do something with that.
I hope they give AJ Styles his flowers over the next year because
Oh,
he
please do, please. Like we need it. Don't play with us. We got and then WWE has TNA, so like there's no reason why you do not play his greatest hits. Like I don't care what money you have to drop on Samoa Joe to come back. I don't care what kind of money you have to drop. Like just give us what we want. You want us to pay that high price to go to these live events and all this other stuff? There you go, right there.
insert Batista gif here. Give me what I want.
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about spitting all in the mic.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think's next for John Cena? Because as of this recording, he's got 4 appearances left. 4.
Mm-hmm,
Now, I've got a theory for one of them.
mm-hmm.
I want to hear yours.
Yeah. Well, like I told you, um, I believe in order to get that title off of Dom, the IC title, um, it has ran its course. Let's be honest. He's been IC title champion for a while now. Um, sure, he's defended it here and there or whatever, but he's more important to AAA with the world title than he is with the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how we feel about the mid card titles, those should be put on superstars to build them up, right? Dom is already built up. Dom is the world champion for AAA. Cool. Take that title off of Dom. Give it to John. He comes Grand Slam champion. You can do that. You can do that at Survivor Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get off of Dom. Um, John don't have to be involved in that team. That it makes no sense for him to be in a War Games match. Okay, absolutely not. I was shocked he was even in Elimination Chamber match, but he didn't take no big bumps. He didn't do nothing crazy, so ain't no need for him to be in the War Games match because that's absolutely the definition of bumps. You're going to take a serious bump. I mean, Bronson Reed broke both his ankles last year in that match,
Yeah. And he
but
said he'd do that spot again, but that's
which
neither
is
here
crazy.
nor
But
there.
hey, man, hey, man. I mean, look at you now. You're one of the biggest stars in the game right now. So if you want to break your ankles again, that's on you. But you put the IC title on John. I don't know how the next. I know one of them is gonna be at Survivor Series for sure. So that's one out of the two. Maybe you get John on Netflix and Dom comes out, talk a little crap. You keep talking like you the real champion. I'm the true champion. I'm the greatest Mysterio of all time. Blah blah blah. So you get that going. John wins, and when John wins, right? You know how he's in there celebrating this, that, and third. The lights go out. Obafemi's music hits. He comes out, absolutely destroys John. Little kids crying, all this other stuff. Obafemi puts his foot on John's chest. He holds up that IC title. This is how you set up the next big thing, the next big superstar. You have them feud for the last two. Uh, yeah, you have them feud for the last two appearances, and at Saturday night's main event, Obafemi goes over on John Cena, wins the IC title. What have we talked about? What have we preached about that spot? Nobody who's already a made man needs that spot. It needs to be somebody who needs to be made into a superstar. Obafemi is a superstar in NXT. You continue that superstardom in the main roster.
This is not having the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak being ended by Brock Lesnar,
Right.
who was a made guy 11 years ago.
Yeah, that significant win did nothing for Brock. We already knew Brock was a killer. We already knew we already knew the Undertaker was winding down. I mean, you could literally every
Yeah,
WrestleMania see his body literally breaking down. So eventually that record was either going to not be broken and he retires, or he literally gets beat by somebody. Which once again, we've preached this before. Bray Wyatt should have won that match. He should have been the one that carried that title. I mean,
well,
he should have carried
that's
the title of beating the Undertaker, snapping the streak.
the one in 21 and one
The
had to
one
do
in
that.
21. And then you go with Roman, he be number two, which I just don't get why you made Roman number two when you could have made Roman number one, or you could have made Bray number one. Like Brock, that it's a asterisk on that one to me. I may be the only one
Agreed.
in in the America who thinks that, but like that one is not as significant as it should be.
Brother, you're not the only one on this podcast who thinks like that.
Yeah. Now, granted, it made a big meme. It made some memes out of that black dude that was like shocked with his mouth wide open. I mean, that's an iconic meme. But
Yeah,
as far as wrestling fans like you and I'm sure other wrestling fans who listen to this pod, that one doesn't hit the same as it would have done for a Bray Wyatt, for a Roman, for a uh just anybody.
yeah. Well, I love the idea of Obafemi. I've been preaching his name. If you remember, I've been preaching his name ever since our WrestleMania build up.
Yeah.
I have loved that guy for years, and it's not just because he, you know, threw shot put at the University of Alabama. He's just a killer.
Everything about his character is a
Yeah,
killer. Yes, is
yeah.
and he's improved on his mic skills. I haven't watched a lot of them, but the ones I have seen, like he is. I mean, not to make it any kind of way, but he's the Black Gunther.
I love that. Yeah.
He's literally Black Gunther because like Gunther came up the ranks. He was a killer.
As
He
Walter, and he's still Walter as far as I'm
he's still
concerned. But
Walter in
go
our
on,
eyes.
but
I
go
don't
on.
care
Yeah.
what WWE can say, but like he literally came up in the ranks. He destroyed all his opponents. He built his name solely off of his ring work. Obafemi is doing
Yes.
the same exact thing. This man has
Exactly.
fought TNA superstars. He's fought NXT superstars. When he goes to the main roster, I'm sure he's gonna fight everybody in their mama. But one way to make a certified killer is you make him kill the goat.
Yeah. That would be an incredible moment. That would be an absolutely incredible moment. Just not even a rocket launch. Put one of Elon Musk Starship rockets on his back.
It's the same. It's the same exact reaction we would got. It's the matter of fact. It's the same reaction we would got of when the Undertaker lost at WrestleMania,
Indeed.
but justifiable moment.
Exactly. Now, I've got a theory behind that SummerSlam, but SummerSlam, listen to me, that Survivor Series match.
Okay.
Um, I think I think all signs are pointing to an IC title match with he and Dom Mysterio. Now, we've got John Cena retiring.
Mm-hmm.
We've also got AJ Styles retiring over the next year.
Correct.
During that match at Survivor Series, I want to see a moment, like a surprise moment, where somebody interferes, cost Dom Mysterio that match. I don't care how it happens, you know, do the spot with the hoodie pulled up. I know that's kind of played out, but it needs to be like a surprise moment.
We thinking
And
it's
then
your boy Americano, but it's not.
no. Yeah. Dom turns around and it's his dad, Rey Mysterio, looking right at him. They're going to be in San Diego. They're going to be in the land of 619.
That pop is going to be crazy.
And I want that to set up a hair versus mask retirement match for WrestleMania 42.
You really giving them some heat and paying the crazy prices to go back to Vegas.
Why would we want to do that?
Yeah, why would we want to do that? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I wish they was listening. It was like, hey man, we got to get these guys. We got to get them on our payroll.
I won't even have to relocate. I could just I could throw a rock and hit the
I'm trying to tell you. I mean,
it'd be a hell of a throw, but yeah.
but that is a great idea because we haven't seen Ray since Triple A, what Triple Mania or whatever that was when
Mm-hmm.
Dom won the belt, and obviously, you know, we hate to see it, but it's been far beyond time for Ray to return,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
you know, this would be great for not only Ray but his son. I mean, carry on the obviously the Mysterio name. It'll be justifiable. I mean, him winning the AAA title made it justifiable, but then to beat your father at WrestleMania and not only beat him, but utterly disrespect him and the luchador lineage by taking that mask off at WrestleMania is the most diabolical thing you could ever do to a luchador.
and then if you think about it, Dom would have heat with Dragon Lee,
He would
with
have heat with
Penta, with Ray
yeah,
Phoenix, with
every luchador possible. Not on,
and then you can go down to AAA, and he'd have heat with all those mass luchadors.
now do Dom keeps that AAA title all the way to WrestleMania and just like title versus mask match. I mean, I like the hair versus I love the hair versus mask, but the title that you never had versus your father's legacy. I got what you want. You never had that title. I won the title. I want your legacy.
I mean, if you're, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, actually, because Dom's definitely not going to have the IC title after
Nah,
some Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of on a mental, like on a mental block right now because I don't want it to get cold. But um, he's definitely not going to have that title after Survivor Series. Um,
But that AAA title, you not only bring, I mean, Dom wearing it and carrying it and everything, but you bring more eyes to AAA product because Dom is the champion,
having that title defended at WrestleMania,
the biggest show of history,
the
like
biggest show in the world. Yeah.
far superior than I mean, no disrespect to the lineage of AAA, but that's the grand all be all. That's the Super Bowl of pro wrestling.
Oof. Oof. I like that twist. I like that twist because I mean, yeah, hair versus mask is definitely a lucha libre kind of way to go out, but
Yeah,
mask versus title. Oof, that's killer right there.
Like you want this title so bad that the title I won that you can't get, you've never had. But in order for you to have this match against me, you have to put your legacy on it. I want your legacy. Like in order for me to call myself the greatest Mysterio of all time, I have to destroy your legacy.
Shut up and take my money.
God, that and I'm talking about the week. I mean, like, yeah, we've seen Dom do it with Rhea Ripley, but like, just imagine the weeks leading up to WrestleMania and all the disrespect that Dom does to that name, Mysterio, and just rubbing in his father's face that I got the title that you worked your entire career in Lucha Legacy and never got. I got it.
Like he just needles them into it.
It just keeps poking at me, poking at me, poking at me.
Yeah.
Like I got the belt. I'm the greatest. I won it. Yeah, you won it with help. So what? I still got it. Like you did all this hard work. You did it the right way. You was this, that, and third. Yeah, you the GOAT or the so-called GOAT, but I'm actually the GOAT. I'm the king of luchadors. I'm the king of you.
Uh, to be fair, I know WWE, especially when the old man was running the game, think that we fans have the memory of a fruit fly.
Right.
Yes, we remember. If you're older, if you're in your 30s and 40s, you remember in WCW when they should have never done this, but when they took that mask off that man.
They should have never done it. Like never. Why would you
And
do that?
bro, I'm still pissed at Vince Russo for doing that.
Like that was terrible, terrible idea you could ever do to, especially the Mysterio name. But obviously, we know what his face looked like, but he's done a great job from that dark place and restored the whole fact of like luchadors never take off their mask. Um, any social media page you see, he's not showing his face. He's doing this, covered his. But
Rarely. I mean,
rarely, yeah,
a few shots have gotten out.
a few shots you've seen his face, yes, but
Right,
like you know outside of his personal life, just staying within the
right.
WWE bubble, you've never seen his face. So like to
Yeah.
do that at WrestleMania and then like pull his mask off, like not even like okay, here's the grand reveal. No, no, no. Like as soon as the match off, Dom just rips it off, like without even like raising his hand or like you know, Dom, Ray is laying on the mat looking up at the stars, and then he immediately goes to rip the mask off, right? And then they get a great shot of Ray's face, and then Dom is getting his arm raised while he got the mask in the other hand, just like you know,
Like holding it up like like a scalp.
like a scalp. Yes, like you are literally in Sin City, and you performed the most ultimate sin in luchador history by revealing your father's face to the world.
They may have to get him a bodyguard the next time he does a match down in Mexico
He
after
can't
that.
even go to San Diego no more if they like
No,
that'd
he
be
yeah,
the amount of spit that be coming from fans is crazy.
he'd probably have to wear a flak jacket to the ring.
It'd probably be a rubber chicken thrown in the ring like what they did with Cody.
Yeah. Or
But
like those, yeah, I'm not going to finish what I was going to say there. But yeah, I think you've got a lot of great options. You've got a lot of great options to go with John Cena's final matches. Um, and before we wrap up here, I feel like um there had been a lot of talk around Gunther being the final opponent for Cena. You and I both think the world of the guy.
Yeah, and you
I
know
mean,
how I feel about it.
he's one of my favorite heels in the game today.
Yeah, you and me both. Like I can't say anything bad about his character other than he don't like to wear socks. But um, he would
Well,
be fitting for that.
that's a Gunther problem. But
That's
yeah,
a good
go on.
part. Yes, yeah, I'm sure he
Yeah,
would put some stuff in his feet to keep him sweating or anything like that. But
right.
uh, I have no problem with that. I just think in my eyes, Gunther is already made. Like he is
Damn
made. Like
right.
he's a
Yeah,
household name. Like he's been against the great. I mean, this man literally. I mean, we've said this numerous times on PLEs where we text back and forth. Like this match was a 5-star banger. Like you could throw Johnny Knoxville in that match and he'll make it a 5-star match. Like he literally made a Pat McAfee match almost 5 stars. To the point where
yeah,
you thought Pat McAfee was going to win the match at one point, but then obviously tables are turning, ain't no way in God's green earth Pat McAfee beats Gunther. I mean, it's just crazy. But I mean, he literally made Jay into a superstar.
yep, yep. He did. He did.
I mean, obviously Roman helped with that too, but like what got him over the hump of like this is the guy for the company, this is the face of the company, Gunther and his work with Jay. So
Yeah, Gunther pushed Jay further than I think he ever really could go. Not just in the ring, but on the mic too.
yeah, and I see absolutely where you're going with Gunther. I do because Gunther took out Stone. I mean, excuse me, not Stone Cold. No disrespect, Stone Cold. Goldberg. You know, say what we may about Goldberg, but Goldberg is a legend, and like
Yeah.
that carries a lot of weight. You beating Goldberg. Um, would have been more weight 20 years ago, but that's neither here nor there. But him taking out Goldberg, then turn around in the same breath in the same year and taking out John Cena is impressive. But I think it would be more impressive if Obafemi takes out John Cena, and then you have this feud between Gunther and Obafemi to who is the true alpha apex predator. No offense to Randy Orton, but obviously
Right.
Randy Orton is on the tail end of his career. So, who is the new apex predator in the company?
And then, if you, as far as I'm concerned, if you give Obafemi that IC championship, you've got a ready-made match with Gunther. And when he comes back, you've got a ready-made match with Ilya Dragunov too.
That match is that you put those three together, and that's a banger. Like that's a 5-star off rip if you put them three together for the IC title, and then you put the IC title back on someone to make the IC title great again. You have that lineage back. Like no disrespect, John. I mean Dom having it as good. That helped his career. That made him more like I mean, we was shocked and then we was excited too because it was like, wow, they really put that title on Dom. Now I thought they was going to go with the whole Finn versus Dom aspect, but I mean, I don't know what I don't know what their problem is with the slow build to things, or they like put an Easter egg. They start dropping Easter eggs, and then they never pull the trigger. So I don't know if it's a Triple H thing or it's just a creative team, but which like we talked about recently, they fired the creative team. Now they really changed up the creative team because like our word carries a lot of weight. Like us as fans, when we get on social media and start griping and you know bitching,
Right? Yeah, yeah.
like they listen to it because when your viewership goes down, when your ticket sales, I mean, like your ticket prices, I mean, not prices, but your ticket, what is it? When you're not selling a quota that you're looking for with tickets,
Right.
when your merchandise is not getting bought up because we're tired of your bull crap, that carries a lot of weight. So
Especially when they want to charge the kind of ticket prices, the kind of concession prices, the kind of, you know, food and drink prices that they do at these live shows.
absolutely, like, y- I mean, y'all got to step your game up. I mean, especially for SmackDown. I mean, because like I don't complain about paying for Netflix because I watch
Mhm.
Netflix and I get to watch Raw on Netflix. Cool,
Yeah,
but when you get to talk about eventually maybe leaving USA Network and going this, that, and the third, and you putting out the crap you putting out, I'm not finna buy in that. I'm not finna invest into that. Just like ESPN, like y'all did great with
yeah.
Crown Jewel, but okay, that was a irrelevant PLE. Now when we get to the
That started at 8 in the morning
that
Eastern
started
time. Let's
eight
not
in the
forget.
morning Eastern time. Yes, that is crazy, but thank God it was worth watching because if it wasn't,
Yeah,
just imagine the backfire they would have got from that. It would have been way worse than WrestlePalooza.
absolutely, absolutely. Because you got one of the big four coming up here in a few weeks.
Yeah, and if you fumble on that, especially Survivor Series, it's gonna be bad. You're ending the
Yeah.
year off. I mean, not ending the year, but you're basically starting to end the year off, and you do terribly at Survivor Series, and then you turn around on Saturday night's main event, and you do terribly on John Cena's last match. You might well wrap it up for 2026 before it even begins.
Yeah,
Now,
forget about
before
yeah.
speaking of before wrapping up, what are your thoughts about the main event?
Uh, 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 the Crown Jewel main event.
Cody versus Seth. Yeah.
I thought it was entertaining but incredibly predictable. I mean, Seth had to go over on that match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seth had to go over on that match, especially as much attention as they were paying to Seth Rollins and kind of that 1,000 yard stare he had going on.
Hmm.
Um, it was an entertaining match. I thought it was a really fun match,
Hmm.
but it was incredibly predictable.
Yeah. I'm on the same realm as you. It was entertaining, but very underwhelming.
Yeah,
It had some great spots. Don't get me wrong. Um, the crossroads off the top rope should have ended. I mean, like if obviously we knew Cody wasn't gonna win, but if Cody was gonna win, it should have ended with that because you do a crossroads off the top rope. That is basically the same equivalent as doing three crossroads back to back to back.
and this was after that absolutely ridiculous
Insane.
spot
Yeah.
where Seth Rollins did a coast to coast
Headbutt.
headbutt to Cody Rhodes, who was in the Tree of Woe, which I
A
still don't
headbutt.
understand.
Like, how often have we heard them ban that move because of the CTE stuff?
Right, right. To a certain Canadian cripple whose name shall not be mentioned.
Yeah. But like the gall. I mean, I want I in next season of Unreal or whatever that show is on Netflix, I need to see the conversation being made about doing that move.
I would be very curious if that was a move that, whoever produced that match, which we haven't, you know, learned who produced that match,
Right.
but whoever produced that match, going to Triple H, going to because I have a feeling Vince would have absolutely said hell no to that spot.
He would have went over that.
Yeah, he would have lost it.
Somebody would have lost their job that night.
Hmm.
Who approved that match? I mean, who approved that move? I need to know who now. Y'all are going straight home. You're not coming back.
Because for so long, the curb stomp was spanned because of the CTE, even though that's a worked move.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it took a lot of some long discussions for them to get Vince to buy into doing that move again. So I
Yeah,
can only
yeah,
imagine
and
the headbutt.
yeah. I mean, but to be fair, as many times as Chris Benoit did that move, his brain was sponge cake by the end.
Yeah, from the chair shots. They went, and to be honest, it wasn't even the headbutt maneuver because obviously we've seen I about to call him Shorty G, Lord have mercy. Chad Gable. How many
Shorty
times we've
G,
seen him
my
do the
God.
headbutt?
Yeah.
And like obviously, if anyone watches wrestling like we do, when he does the headbutt, he fully extends, he has his head upright, so there's no really like very serious impact on his head, and he hits the shoulder part, like kind of like where your collarbone and stuff is. They don't
Hmm.
actually headbutt, but his head hits their collarbone slash shoulder part, so it's less dangerous of that way. But when Seth did it to Cody, yeah, he was aiming for that spot, but Cody had to literally pick his head up. So any movement towards I think his right, they were literally about to headbutt each other. So
And that would have been concussion protocol right there.
concussion protocol, John Cena nose broke part two. That would have
Yep.
been kind of karma to Seth because Seth broke John Cena's nose, so Cody's nose would have been broke. But thank God that that maneuver. I mean, let's face it, it probably maybe injured him a little bit, but not as much as it would have been if it would have did horribly wrong. So
Yeah, I could have gone bad. I could
yeah,
have gone real bad. I cringed like I mean I like just like cringed when I saw that.
yeah,
I remember I texted you like, what the hell was that?
yeah. You was like, have they lost their absolute mind? Like, I get
Yeah.
it. I mean, I get it. Y'all like no disrespect to Seth and Cody. Like, obviously, y'all deserved the spot. Y'all were both champions. I mean, y'all both champions. This and that and third. But
And you
like you
knew
said,
how
it
to
was
do it, and you knew how to do it safe.
yeah. I mean, because they work with each other for so long, and they have that respect for each other and admiration for each other. So they're going to do their absolute best to keep each other safe. And Cody is one of the greatest workers of all time, as far as like being safe, and Seth is too. So, and how many times we've seen Seth injure himself versus injuring somebody? Like he's literally injured
Yeah.
himself doing moves rather than injuring somebody else.
I mean, now to be fair, that buckle bomb got a few people.
I mean,
I
yeah,
hated I hated when I saw that.
I cringe every time he does that buckle bomb, but then at the same time, it's like we're talking about Sting, and was at the time in his 50s.
Hmm.
So to be honest, Sting is never going to say no to a move, but at the same time, when you're in your 50s, ain't no way in HEW hockey sticks you should be taking a buckle bomb.
Yeah.
Like I can't even remember Sting ever taking a buckle bomb, like ever. He probably has taken some in his career, but as long as I've watched Sting, I've never seen him take a buckle bomb.
I mean, as many times as many power bombs as that man took from guys like Sid and
Yeah,
Kevin Nash and Big Show for that matter. Yeah.
but it's so you have more control taking a power bomb because obviously there's communication with each other, and
Right.
then like once the dude lets you go, they're so trained to keep their neck up towards their chest and like have a certain landing they do when they take a power
Right.
bomb. But with
Right.
a buckle bomb,
Tuck your chin and spread
chuck
your
your chin.
arms before
Yep,
you hit.
spread your
Yeah.
arms and just you as many bumps you've taken, you kind of like you feel when you're finna hit the mat. But when you're getting buckle bombed, you're literally getting thrown in the air, and like once that person lets you go, I mean, you pretty much are kind of like your body is flimsy in the air. So it's like you finna hit the turnbuckle, and I mean, God forbid, like something happens, and then that's what happens. It was like a freak
Yeah.
accident. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but besides the buckle
But
bomb
yeah.
and besides
Yeah.
John nose getting broke, I mean, Seth is somewhat of a. I mean, the man curb stomped Roman Reigns with 2 feet. So I mean, and thank God Roman didn't have a concussion or a broken nose or anything like that. But I mean, if the man could curb stomp Roman Reigns with 2 feet and Roman comes out okay, you know.
Yeah.
And matter of fact,
Yeah.
they said that in the Unreal thing, like Triple H, like, dear God, he just curb stomped the you know SHIT out of
Yeah,
so,
yeah, totally.
so
But yeah, no, just to answer your question before we go home here, it's a good match, entertaining, predictable, and a little underwhelming.
do you think that Austin Theory should have been involved in the match? Because everything points to somebody interfering in that match. Vision didn't come out, right?
Right.
Paul told them not to go out there. Like Cody's on his own. Cody literally is on his own. If he doesn't win that match, he is kicked out of the division. Like God forbid that what they would have done to him if he would have lost that match.
You mean Seth?
Seth, yes, excuse me.
Right.
He wins by the watch that he wore. That was like the most corniest way to end a match. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, it's the most heelest
Yeah.
way because I mean, I can see Ric Flair doing that in a match, but the the way you building this up, right? It's the same way you built it up when he was fighting CM Punk, right? And the masked person comes out is his wife, and we like, oh, here we go. This is it. This we finna get AJ Lee back, right? But that was
Right.
surprising because we didn't think that Becky was ever going to be involved with Seth like that, but she was. So now you got a women version, you got a woman person in the division. So now this was pointing to the fourth member, excuse me, fourth member
Right.
of Vision. Well, I mean fifth member technically because Becky's in the Vision, but yeah, this is the
Right.
fifth member. And what did I tell you before? This would have been the Randy Orton of Evolution.
Yes. Well, yep. Well, we've been hearing some stories about what they're going to do with SummerSlam. Listen to me,
You were ready
Survivor.
for SummerSlam. You
Bro,
were ready
it's
for it.
late. Bro, it's late. It's late. Survivor Series,
Yes,
and I'd love to touch on that next week.
I'm ready. I'm ready to touch on Survivor Series.
Yeah,
I cannot wait for Raw and SmackDown, and I just hope I hope that ain't Raw gonna be on 8 o'clock tomorrow?
I believe so,
Yeah,
but pre-recorded because they're still in Australia.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so we can watch it whenever, but it's pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I would definitely after I drop my daughter off at school, I'll be watching it. So
yeah. Well, I'm probably gonna have a slow day at work tomorrow, so I might be watching that myself. So,
nice. But
yeah.
I'm
All
definitely
right.
looking forward to that, and I'm so excited to continue this next week on our next review.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely, my guy. Another fun show, my friend. Ready to do it again
absolutely.
next week?
Oh
All
yeah.
right. So one more time, this is a Wrasslin Roundtable podcast. You can follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, or just follow us on our Facebook page. We're going to be posting more. We're going to have some more cool stuff, and maybe even some video coming up on that Facebook page, but we will keep you posted on that. But until we eat again, for Dom, I'm Ryan. It's been the Wrasslin Roundtable podcast, a presentation of Royal Hearts Media. Take care, and we'll talk to you next week.